What is something you would only ever buy in person and never online? Groceries and shoes, for sure. I am also one of those people that like to pick out their own produce, and there are way too many cheaply made shoes out there that hurt my feet. Might be stupid, but pants. Sadly, most pants are made with the same measurements for hips and waist, and it's super hard to find anything that fits both things correctly, or close, so I always need to try them on. I buy everything in person. I don't buy stuff for the sake of buying, or as a hobby. Also, I like to buy local, to support local businesses and ensure that my town continues to thrive. So many people addicted to online shopping, such a waste of money and harmful to themselves and the planet. A car, maybe. I get literally everything I can delivered. There was a while I used to get gas for my car delivered, but the company no longer services my area. Jeans. Unless I already own the exact size and style and I'm just getting a different wash, and even that can be iffy depending on the brand, I 100% need to try them on first. Clothing. I'm pretty short and thin, so it's super hard to find pants in my size, and I just don't trust the online measurements because I know it's not gonna fit right. Pants. I swear every store's sizes are different. Have a size 4 that fit great and a size 8 that fit just the same from somewhere else. Basically nothing, but there are many things that are more convenient to buy offline. Still, if the situation calls for it, I'm usually ready to at least try buying it online. Car or house. I live in a small town in a rural area, so it's much more convenient to get clothes, shoes, electronics, etc. online. It's 2 hours to get to a big city. I am pro at doing returns. Pretty much everything is bought in person for me. I can't think of anything besides I buy decor online, and even that's disappointing half the time. Almost everything if I can. I'm an outlier in that I hate online shopping and will choose to go in person to shop and make purchases. This is especially true of furniture, clothing, and groceries. The only exception would be travel. Music gear. Everything else I'm fine with buying and doing returns if it doesn't work, but music gear I just have to test it in person before purchasing. Foundation and concealer. Nail polish, lingerie, cause you sometimes can't return it, and finding a bra that fits is already a nightmare. What's a subtle way of showing someone you respect them? I've always had a tendency to address those I respect by first name and, if applicable, their title or relation to me. I'm 38 and I still address my badass, intellectual, caring uncle as Uncle David. In quote. If you think about it from a social standpoint, people tend to raise the pitch of their voices around people that they respect as a way to bow down or symbol of submissiveness and show that you are not a threat. If I notice a method, object, or preference that someone likes particularly, I try to do whatever that is and let the person know I did it the way they liked, or I ask them, is this how you would want it done? In quote. Shows you notice smaller things and respect the way they do it, not in a kiss way, but more of a tip of the hat. Pay attention to them when they are talking. Look at them and listen. It doesn't matter if what they are saying is important or not. Showing an active interest in whatever they have to say speaks a whole lot on how much respect you display. Don't storytop, especially when you go to empathize with them. It's okay to relate a story that you feel is similar, but I think the best way to do that is to fully acknowledge their issue or problem is unique. Even a simple, "that is rough, I'm sorry you're going/went through that," before you relate to them is a good idea. Check in on them occasionally, lightly if you're not too close, see how their day's going. Opening doors for asking if they need help with anything, etc. If you're more personal, honestly, tell them all of the above, as well as letting them know verbally. The totally earnest comments and the completely ridiculously rude comments on here are cracking me up. It does, indeed, take all kinds. I think a subtle way of showing you respect them is how you interact with them when in a group. Focus on what they are saying and help the conversation along in a natural way. Look at them when they are speaking and make it clear you attention in on them. Show interest in what is important to them. Not interrupting them. Listening with interest. Asking them questions about them. Remembering what they've said, interests, hobbies, family, friend names. Speaking nicely about them when they're away. Not brown-nosing. Don't say things like "that's actually a good idea" as if you're surprised they can contribute to what's being done. You bow down every time they pass by you. Keep your eyes down while talking. If they ask you something, be shy and run away giggling. There's no subtle way, either you commit to respecting them or just leave it. Choice is yours/s. What gives you hope that things will get better? Republicans dying at twice the rate of Democrats due to their COVID denialism and anti-vax grift. Gen Z showing up to vote in the midterms. Leftist win in Brazil. Russia getting there, handed to them in Ukraine. Drastic increases in hash of people identifying as none, agnostic, atheist. Healthcare as a right passing in Oregon. Marijuana decriminalization, legalization happening in more states. Psilocybin research and PTSD remedies/treatments. Alzheimer's research making promising gains. Personally, locally, or globally? Personally, I'm having a great year. The best in a decade. And next year is looking to be even better. Locally, the Celtics are winning, and if Belichick ever puts Sapa back in, the Patriots might even make the playoffs. Globally, things always move in trends. 5 years from now will likely be better. 10 years is lots of technology coming that will be cool to see. Thinking ahead, medium term, next 1,000 years, we'll have some sucky times, but the overall trend is still okay. The fact that every past hardship I've faced I've gotten through. I now try to actively remember every hardship I go through now and remember the pain and hopelessness of it right before I come out the other side. Because when I was younger, I would just forget since it was over, but then when a new hardship came, I couldn't draw from my previous experience because I had put it to the back of my mind. Now I try and appreciate more what I've been through in order to see new challenges as nothing more than a molehill rather than a mountain. The fact that most, maybe all, of the lunatic fringe Republicans got voted down last week, that someone in Poland investigated and prevented things in Eastern Europe from escalating. Zelensky and the Ukrainians fighting. I hate that they have to do it, but it's unbelievably inspiring. Yes, Jesus. My wife, who is the STEM teacher for after-school programs, regularly brings home stories about kids and parents, but she also brings home stories about some brilliant, clever children who are more capable than they realize. My boss, who is still new, actually asked me to text her when I got to my travel destination, because she cared enough to want to know that I and my family arrived safely. Day miss reading a good newspaper? Sir, is your nostalgia cluttering the fact that the comics are actually kinda okay? 'Cause it might be. Just give them a shot. But like an actual shot free of bias and preconceived notions. Yeah, it won't have the page flippy sound, but you gotta ask yourself, am I gonna let my love for the flippy page sound blind me from a good news story/comic? Yes, I miss it. I used to read it cover to cover too. Good times. Day slow down your progress in a video game you're really enjoying, as you get towards the end, because you don't want it to be over? I'm usually bored of the main storyline cause it's the same old you're the chosen one, you have the thing that does the thing with the thing and quote. Whereas the side storylines and mini quests and secret bosses are places where the dev team got to be creative, or hidden challenges where they said, let's see how good they actually are at X mechanic we painstakingly over-design for way too long. I always end up sucked in by the main story and ignore everything else towards the end. Every time, this main quest seems like it's getting some momentum. Time to ignore it and do a bunch of fetch quests and quote. A friend of mine beat GTA 5 in what I thought was an absolute insane speed. I asked him and he said he just did the story but never explored or screwed around in the world. In GTA games, I usually spend more time just around, so it takes forever to finish the storyline. What was your right time, right place moment in life? My husband and I were both in the same class in college. Our first day of class, we were assigned to groups for a group project that one group a week would submit as the PowerPoint for our class's lecture. Groups were assigned by last name and my husband and I happened to have our last names start with the same letter, so we ended up in the same group. We didn't end up talking much until close to the end of the semester because our last names are close to the end of the alphabet, but when it came time to do our presentation, the other guy bailed at the last minute, so we spent 5 hours doing the presentation before the turn-in deadline. We've been together for 4 years now, married for 1, and we have 2 beautiful daughters. Almost 4 years ago, a dance video came up on my feed, so naturally I clicked on it, got in a binging mode and decided that I wanted to start dancing in an actual team. The first team I joined got me excited, awakened something in me. It was my time to start right there and then. Currently I am working on my own team, been in 2 of them previously and met some wonderful dancers, opened up a lot of unexpected doors, looking forward to the, hopefully, bright future, thanks to the algorithm I guess //y? //y. Feels like my true purpose. This second one is simple but sweet. It happened a few times, bumping into my childhood friend on the bus every time I decide to wait for another one/skip a bus, for no reason whatsoever. 12 years ago my mom had cancer and was undergoing chemo/radiation. She had to stay at this special cancer house near the hospital. So my siblings and other family members and I took turns staying with her. We had worked out a schedule, but it turned out that I was scheduled over my boyfriend's birthday. He was sad when he found out because we'd only been dating for about 5 months and I was his first really serious relationship, and he had been looking forward to spending his birthday with me. So as a surprise to him I went to all my family members, most of whom were out of state, and worked out a new schedule. So we got to spend his birthday together. 9 months later our daughter was born. In my job, new hires are supposed to be mentored for their first year working permanently. My mentor had to bail for health reasons. The woman in the classroom next to me heard I was looking for someone else, when I knew literally no one, and offered. She's now the vice president of our local union and I sit on the executive. I'm doing all this awesome work I never expected to be a part of, and it's all because I met her.